I didn't get this recorded. I was waiting for a second entry sell up here, but instead of getting a signal bar, we tested the top and then accelerated down below the neckline. So as we accelerated here, and I felt confident that it was something unusual, I just sold 10 shares at the market, and I just exited the position. I clicked close position on the way down. I actually clicked it down here, but the market was moving so quickly that it ended up filling me up here. So I ended up scalping out for around 20 cents, 18 cents on 10 shares. So at 180, we got a bull signal bar, but it came after 4 bear bars. So I wanted to see at least one more bull bar, but even then, it's possible that we get a couple bars up and then have to test back down, or we need a micro double bottom here. So I traded 10 shares. I bought above here, trading 10 shares, and I'm gonna stop myself out below here. But if we get a second reversal up, I'll trade full size above the second reversal. So I'll get stopped out of half size, and then I'll trade full size if we get a second reversal up. The other option was to buy here and use a stop somewhere down here, and then buy more above a second reversal. But because it seems like it's a decent bottom with 3 bottoms here, I didn't want to give it a chance to break below it. So I'll just stop out below. If this bar closes on its high, I think I'll add more, because I think that would increase the chances that we're not going to test back down, and that we should get some more up to test some of these lower highs. So I'll add above it if it closes on its high. It didn't close on its high, so I won't buy more above. So I sold half there. It just wasn't looking as strong as I wanted it to, with bars closing on their highs. So I thought it's reasonable to get out 5 there at least, and see if we go up for the other with my other half. I think we'll get a higher low, but it just wasn't looking quite as strong as I wanted it to. So it might have been okay to even scalp out the whole thing there, but it is 4 bull bars, so I think probably buyers below. So I'll wait to see for the other 5. I'll wait to see if we get a micro double top or second entry sell, some kind of second entry sell. Or if we just really start to stall, then I'll exit. But I think it's reasonable to exit half there. So looks like it was a good call to get at least half there. Pretty big surprise bar to the downside. So I'd like to get out break even on the other half if possible. So got stopped out on my other 5 shares there. I mean, I'm glad I made the right call up here to exit 5 shares. It just wasn't looking quite right after these 4 bear bars. I wanted bull bars closing on their highs here and here, but we didn't get it. So I think it was a good decision for me to scalp out half. But now I'm wondering if I think I mentioned that it's also reasonable to scalp out all. But because of the 4 bull bars, I didn't want to do that because I thought there'd be buyers below. But it looks like that was the right call here to scalp out all. So I think I'm down now on the day. Yeah, down 30 cents. I made 180 here. I made $1 here, 20 cents on 5 shares. So up 280, and then I lost 310 on the last 5 shares here. So it sucks to be negative after 2, I think, pretty decent reads. But had this bar close on its high, or this bar, I would have added above. And I think that would have significantly increased the chances that we go higher up to test these lower highs. So it could have been a pretty big winner. So to only be down 30 cents now, I think I have to find a small victory in there, because it could have been much better for me. And it also could have been much worse if I didn't scalp out. So I think this is a reasonable trade, and I think I should be happy with it, despite it being a negative trade. I bought this close. I thought we were always long on this rally, but we had a second entry sell, and this bull bar didn't close on its high, this bull bar didn't close on its high, so I didn't buy above either of those. And then we got this surprise bull breakout, so I think at least a little bit higher. So I just bought that close, thinking that we should get a second leg up from this bull bar. Looking to scalp out with 20 cents. We're high in the trading range, so I think it's reasonable to scalp out. Just got filled for 20 cents on 10 shares, so $2, so up 170. I really would have liked to have bought above here. If this bar closed on its high, I would have, but I let it go. I still think it's a reasonable buy above here, even though it's high, because it's a strong breakout. So we just had another situation like we did on bar 15 here, where it started to accelerate down with unusual pace. So earlier I sold at the market and scalped for 20 cents. Here, I did the same thing, but instead of selling during the bar, I sold after it closed and scalped for 40 cents with 5 shares. Or I think it was about 50 cents actually, close to 50 cents with 5 shares. Clearly, this one I got out a little bit too early, and I had a feeling that it was, I've talked about this many times, but it's just, I can never do it in the moment. It's just so difficult to do. And I'll just explain my reasoning first. So here earlier we had a double top and a neckline, and we accelerated very quickly below the neckline, so I thought it was reasonable for a scalp down to form a double bottom. So I just scalped out. Here, it was accelerating down here, but this was such a strong rally, so I didn't want to mess with it and sell during the sell-off. But once we closed down here, it was such a big bar that I didn't think it was just a large bar. Holy crap, this is nuts. I didn't think it was just a large breakout bar. It looked like a very unusual bar. So I don't remember which trade it was, but I was explaining that when there's something like this that happens, it's usually something like a random bearish event, and we're probably going to get follow through and often close on the low of the day. So after this bar closed, it was a double bottom with this, but it was so big that I thought we'd get follow through after it became a dominant bar. So I sold the close of the bar, and it was just happening so quickly I didn't have time to put any orders in. So I just sold 5 shares at the market, and then once it got far enough down, I just pressed close position and exited. So it's too quick to calculate what to do and how many shares to trade. I just picked relatively small numbers, 5 shares. I knew that it was about $2 away, so I was risking $10 up to here. And I just closed my position as it accelerated down far enough that I thought it was a reasonable profit. But last time I said, and every time before that, I said that when we get these dominant featured bars, I want to hold because they often go a lot longer than a small scalp like this. In the moment, it looked like a big scalp because it was 50 cents, and I thought today was more of a 20-cent day. But after, when the bar finishes, it's very small compared to what can happen after these dominant bars. So left a lot on the table, but I'm glad I took it because I think it's the right thing to do. But for some reason, I just can't hold to see what we get, because sometimes we do get, well, actually, yeah, because sometimes we get these crazy sell-offs, and this is all happening in one bar. So it's not like I have to be extra patient. Just have to wait for 1 or 2 bars. I don't remember where the last day was. I think I mentioned it on. Let me try to find the day. Yeah, here it is. So very similar situation. Very, very big bar compared to this tight rally before it. So it's okay to sell that close, sell below it. And if you wait 2 or 3 bars, you get a sense that we're probably going lower. And this day didn't close exactly on the low, but we got a huge sell-off from it. Today is much bigger than that. So very tight rally, but this one bar erased the 15 bars before it. So I thought there was a really good opportunity here, and I got it. Like I capitalized on some of it, but damn, it sucks to miss this much of a move. Anyway, so I made 250 on it. So no, I was at 170. So I made 237 on it. So at 407 for the day, and probably done for the day.